So, 7 things that I or you shouldn't give an explanation for is when you want to set personal boundaries. So, for me personally, I literally had a falling out with someone who wanted to be in my face, in my space, like all the time. And for me, I don't know if it's because of my Capricorn spirit, my Capricorn energy, but for me personally, when I after I finish working, I just need time to be by myself. Or even when I'm home in my house, like sometimes I just want to be by myself. But of course I have kids, and that is literally impossible, right? You hide in the bathroom, they're gonna find you. You go to the bedroom, they're gonna come. You lock the door, they're gonna come beating it down, right? So guess what I did? I literally started setting boundaries with my kids. So a bit of that is kind of just gone. But yeah, we have to learn to set personal boundaries and don't give an explanation for it, right? I've also had family who decided they can call my phone at any time and think that because it's my phone and they have my number that I should answer their call, which is kind of a crazy, right? Because sometimes you may not be in the right place, the right space. You may be doing something that you can pause to have a conversation with someone. And sometimes some people don't understand that. Like I literally lost a relationship with a family member for that, because she felt that I was supposed to answer my phone when she called me. And long story short, I literally just like blocked her. I don't speak to her anymore because she overstepped that boundary like gazillion time, right? So yeah. So why should we not give an explanation for setting personal boundaries? So I have some tips here. I have some tips and some tools here that I have been using because I am evolving into that woman who I want to be. So I'm going to share those with you. Okay. So you might see me looking down a bit. So just be patient with me. Alrighty. It's a central point of sustaining our mental health, right? So your personal space, your personal boundary, when you set those, you're in a place where you're looking to have solitude. You just want to unwind. You just want to be like zen. Right? You just want to be that, right? So it's like your central point where you sustain yourself. So sometimes you just want to be by yourself. So that's basically it. You don't have to give anyone an explanation for that, right? Because our mental health is our peace of mind. If you don't have good hygiene when it comes to your mental health, guess what? You're not going to have peace of mind. So we need that, so you don't have to explain, right? Some people, I think some people sometimes feel so entitled. I'm gonna put in my AirPods. Why didn't I put in my AirPods? But I guess that you guys can still hear me, right? Some people feel kind of entitled to you and your energy, so let them know, no. When you say that you need your personal space, you need your personal space. That's it. So number two thing that you should not give an explanation for is your self-care practice. Because some people say, oh, why you want to go and do yoga? Oh, why are you going to the gym? Oh, why are you eating that? Oh, why aren't you eating meat? Let me know if you've ever had someone say that to you. So I've been vegan, plant-based practically my entire life. And there are people, there are family members, there are people who literally still have a problem with that aspect of my life. I don't know why. It's nobody's business, but people still have issues with it. But yes, moving on, right? Yeah. So your self-care practice, right? Your self-care practice, that is important. So if you decided that you just want to be you, right? You just want to do you. Why should you explain that you're just gonna sit in your house all day and watch TV? Or why should you explain that you're not You don't feel like going to a party. Why should you explain that to anyone? Somebody please tell me. Tell me in the comment. Why? You don't have to. An evolved woman don't explain. You don't have to explain. You don't have to explain your self-care practices, okay? Remember, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe anyone anything, right? So yeah, that's number 2. Number 3, of the things that an evolved woman don't have to explain to anyone, right? Your core values. Now, I think I know that we live in a world where we have groupthink. Everybody's just going, everybody's just going there, and people are just, it's just like groupthink, right? Nobody goes against the grain. So imagine you're trying to swim upstream, right? And everybody's like, they're not minding their business going over the cliff. They're minding you trying to swim over from the fall. Like, for those of you who have ever been to Niagara Falls or Victoria Falls, everybody's heading that direction, right? And you were heading in the opposite direction, and they say, oh, why don't you want to go over the fall with us? Like, no, I don't want to go over the fall with you, right? You don't even have to say it. You just have to keep swimming against the current, right? So yeah, you don't have to explain that. You don't have to explain your core values, right? Because explaining your core values to someone is like a big no. You don't have to, right? You don't have to. And let me see what I have here in my notes, right? Yeah, because your core values are what guides you, right? Your core values, who you want to date, where you want to eat, where you want to live, how you want to express yourself. Those are all part of the principles and the standard that guide your core values, right? So why should you have to explain them to someone? I don't think so. You don't have to. So remember, number 3, you don't have to explain your core values to anyone, because they shape your mind, body, soul, and spirit, and that's you. That's you in the external and the internal. So you don't have to explain your core values to anyone. Number 4, right? Your spiritual practice. And as I said, because we are so into groupthink, and sometimes we feel out of the loop if we are not within the loop. We think that we need to explain, right, that to someone. Your spiritual. No, you don't. Whatever you choose to do within your spiritual practice, that's you, right? So for me, I grew up a Christian. I grew up Seventh Adventist. And as I evolved and I learned more about, life and religion and spirituality, I realized personally that religion is just like a jail. Like, it's literally is a jail. That's how I felt, right? But my spirituality is between me and the creative force, Gaia, God, the divine force of the universe, right? And that had set my mind free. And I'm in such a better place, right? Where I'm open to listening to other people. Whereas when I used to be a quote unquote Christian, right, I would block everything. I was like, oh, so you're worshiping that God and you're doing this. Oh, you're gonna go to, this is where you're gonna go, you're gonna go to this place, right? And then somewhere else you can understand this place, right? So you're gonna go to this place, or you're gonna, So yeah, with my spirituality had literally set me free to be open, to be more welcoming, right? And I truly appreciate that, where I'm evolving and accepting people for who they are, where they are, who they worship, and whatever. I just keep in my own lane and do my own thing, because that's where I'm comfortable. That's where I find peace, right? And that's so, your spiritual practice can also include like yoga, right? And I know when I was growing up in the church, like literally some people are coming around to it because they're understanding and they're seeking their own truth. That's the biggie right there, your own truth. Because we've been brought up to believe somebody's truth that is not aligning with us, and that's what I think has have a lot of people in put a lot of people in a lot of trouble, right? That's just what I'm saying. That's just what I am saying personally, right? It has put a lot of people in a lot of trouble, right? Have a lot of people in a state of unrest, I should say, when it comes to their religious belief, and you know how they grow through and go through life. So right, so back to what I was saying, I went off there a little bit, I think so. All right, this is something that an evolved woman, right, you as an evolved woman, me as an evolved woman, I as an evolved woman, I shouldn't explain, you shouldn't explain that to, I believe that you shouldn't have to explain your spiritual practice to anyone. You shouldn't explain to someone why you want to do yoga. You shouldn't explain to someone why you want to go out and hug a tree. You shouldn't have to explain to someone why you are taking off your shoe in the park, in the forest, in the garden, and grounding yourself. You shouldn't have to explain any of that to anyone, because that's nobody's business. That's you and your business and what you choose to practice as a person, as a sovereign being, as a spiritual being having this experience here in this physical realm. That is what I believe personally, right? Yeah, so as I said, I have more peace now in my life because I don't have to explain my spiritual practice to anyone, and I practice in peace, right? I practice in peace to be at peace. Isn't that something? Yes, I practice to be in peace because I'm at peace. I'm at peace with me. I'm at peace with God. I'm at peace with where I am, and I'm at peace with where I am doing. I'm at peace with the things and the fulfillment and the abundance that is coming into my life because I'm obedient to the Spirit within me and not something outside of me, right? So that's that. Don't explain your spiritual practice to anyone. I don't care who it is. Husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever, you know. Don't explain. Children, don't explain. You don't have to explain, right? So number 5. Now this here is a biggie. I think this is what started this whole thing about things that I don't have to explain for. Do you know? So anybody can put a comment there, right? You can put a comment there. Have you ever said, somebody asked you to do something and you said, yes, because da 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 da? Have you ever said that? So how comes when you said, when somebody asks you to do something or asks you for a favor and you said no, that you feel the need to explain to them? Why are you explaining? I've come to the point in my life, because my mind is so evolved, that when I say no, it's no. I'm not explaining why. I'm not carrying on the car. It's, can you loan me some? No. Can you help me to do this? No. Are you open to going here? No. Or no, thank you. That's it, right? Oh no, because I have to I have to take my children there. I have to no, we not doing that. Evolved women don't do that, okay? Evolved women don't do that. We don't go around running around explaining, giving off energy, like, wasting time. You don't do that, okay? A no is a no. No is a complete sentence. And I've come to learn that, and I'm so much happier. I am so much happier when I say no and don't have to give anyone an explanation. Isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful to me. I don't know about you, right? Don't interrupt your peace by saying yes to something that your spirit will feel abusive to. That's what I always say, okay? Don't do that. And number 6, moving on, people, moving on. I'm trying to make this video as positive and as encouraging as possible. Okay, so number 6, your choice of fashion. So sometimes I literally, I do these videos and I come on here and I want to, I have a lot of beautiful clothes in my closet, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what do I put on to sit in front of the camera? People looking at me like da da da. So look at this. I literally just did this on purpose because I was like, you know what? I just feel the need to film this video. And I call this kind of my little Tony Gaskin. For those of you, there's this very popular YouTuber. His name is Tony Gaskin. he do these little, these videos, and he's like, oh, please forgive me. And I laugh all the time. I love watching his videos, right? Very, very positive, very, anyway, I just want to say that I love his videos. I do watch him from time to time. I've subscribed to his channel. He gives very, good, godly information to, women. And although I don't subscribe to Christianity anymore, I do hold some of those values very high. So yeah, I watch him. So sometimes he would just come on and he would just do his thing. And something that he said that really impacted me is that and I may have gone off a bit, but I'm coming right back. When he said, oh no, you don't have to set up a camera, you have to put on makeup, you have to put on clothes, because you want to do a video. No, just do it in the moment, right? Because some of us really don't have the time. So I didn't have the time to go and change into something more, like what people may think is more acceptable. So I'm not apologizing for this. So don't apologize, right, for your fashion choice, your choice of fashion. And don't miss what I just, what I just said, right? I'm just sharing to say, like, sometimes Mr. Gaskin, he would say, just do it in the moment. And that is what I got from one of his videos, right? Just do it in the moment. Like, you have a message. It's not about how you look online. Yes, it is. I shouldn't say that. It is. It is about how you look online sometimes. You don't want to come on here looking all raggedy and crazy and out of sorts and all of that, right? But for me, I just, it's one of my dresses. I love it very much. And I just decided I was going to sit and do this video and hope that someone get the message instead of looking at me in my jeans dress that I just put on when I'm around the house. And yeah, I'm doing this video, right? So yeah, don't apologize for your fashion choices, okay? Who say you have to wear everything that is in fashion, right? Like, fashion come and fashion go. I think we can all just, celebrate who we are in how we dress, how we look. We are all from different culture, different places, right? We have different expression in food, in, in everything. So why can't we just do that in our culture, in terms of how we dress and stuff like that, right? Look at me here just getting all self-conscious. Can you believe that? Right? So yeah, you don't need to explain. So that is something that you don't need to explain. You don't need to explain your fashion choice. You don't need to explain your wardrobe. You don't need to explain anything to anyone as an evolved woman. That's how I feel, and that's how it shall be. Okay, I'm literally in my little office sitting down as my computer's back there. Oh my god, so yeah, and another thing I want to just add on to that before I move on is that, fast fashion is like, and because I'm a person who is big on sustainability and things like that, I think a lot of fast fashion is just messing up the world and but that's a topic for another day. I may just do a video on that, me evolving from fast fashion. And yeah, I'm gonna literally write that down because I'm gonna do a video on that. But yeah, fast fashion, yes, there's some nice stuff, but there's some beautiful pieces that I've had for years that still look brand new. Like, I've had jackets since, like, what? I literally have a jacket. And my boys are in there. My boys are young adults. My two sons are in their 20s. Yeah. So yeah. So I've had clothes from that time, and they're still looking nice and beautiful, and I still wear them, and I still get compliments. But yeah, story for another day, right? Yeah, so for me, fashion is you expressing yourself in the time and space that you are. It's really an expression of the season and the time and the space that you choose to express. That's just how I see it. That's just how I see fashion. So you don't need to explain. I personally don't think that you need to explain that to anyone, right? So yeah. And number 7, your career choice. That's a biggie. I also have, yeah, that's a biggie. So when you were growing up, your parents, and a lot of us have parents who kind of strive to live through us because they may not have had like the opportunity to do the things that they wanted to, because they maybe their parents also forced them to go into a career or have career choice that they didn't want, right? So it's kind of just a continuation. You know, that whole generational curse thing. Generational curse includes a lot of things, but that is also a story for another day, because we're not talking about that today, right? Yeah. So your career choice. So you may decide, oh, I want to be a lawyer. Do you really want to be a lawyer? Oh, I want to be a doctor. Do you really want to do that, right? Did you go into that career field because of your parents? You feel pressured by your friends, your peer, or this is what will give me a certain level of social status? Like, is that what you did? Because if that's what you did, guess what? You're gonna feel burnout. You're gonna feel, you know, I know one lady who used to be a university professor, and guess what? She gave that job, she just gave that career, the entire career. I mean, and she just went into something complete. I think she went and opened a flower shop. Like, I think that's what she did. I also know another lady who worked corporate, right? And she felt so burnt out. She actually her marriage actually broke up over that whole thing, right? And one day she just walked out and she started like a business teaching girls, something to that. And she's like happy. She's literally at her happy place now, right? She's at her happy place now. So yeah, that's so yeah, you don't have to apologize. So whatever career choice you choose as an evolved woman, I'm not apologizing for not wanting to walk or work in the corporate, because that is not the end all be all to everything, right? If you've had conversation or you have friends who work in corporate, a lot of them are burnt out and stressed out, right? And because it's like a continuous cycle of, oh, you have to keep up and you have to do this and you have to do that, right? Mind you, there's some people who have these jobs who are really enjoying it, right? They love what they're doing. But for you, you may not want to do that. So if you choose that you're gonna have a flower shop, if you decide you want to have a pet store, if you decide you just want to work in a center, or you want to have a business that cater for people who are less fortunate, if you want to have a business to help unhoused people, you want to help children who are autistic, you want to just be out there, you just want to be working at your pace and making a difference in the world, you're not all crazy, you don't have to explain any of that to anyone. That's nobody's business. Because I think your career choice should be what makes you happy, what can take care of you in terms of you taking care of yourself. We live in a capitalistic society, so of course you need money to pay your bills, you need to live, but at the end of the day, it's really about your well-being and your wellness. So whatever career path you choose, you should not have to explain that to anyone. And I have a bonus that I want to add here. Now, prior to me starting YouTube, I started YouTube before, and I remember I just want to share this story. This is a real personal story, so I'm sharing it here for the literal first time. Literally the first time that I'm literally sharing this with anyone, because I've always had an issue with this. So for those of you who don't know, I grew up on an island, Barbados, right? That's where Rihanna Fenty is from. And as Bajans, we speak really, really fast, right? Like if you get to the place where you hear two Bajans like speaking, you'll be like, huh? I mean, like real Bajan dialect speaking, you would not understand it. You would not understand it, right? So I'm talking about explaining myself, like, oh, why you speak so fast? And because I live in North America now, I live in a multicultural society, I've had to kind of rein myself in. But there are people who are rude enough to like, oh, you need to slow down because you talk too... Oh, you need to slow down because you speak too fast. Nobody's going to understand you. I've actually heard people from other cultures, other backgrounds, who said the people who are rude enough to say to them, oh, you need to learn to speak English, and why do you this and why do you that? No, you don't have to explain your mother tongue and how you speak to anyone. And I think for me personally, that is something that had me not wanting to do YouTube, because I'm like, oh my God, suppose I pronounce something wrong and this person's gonna go all, oh my gosh, you can't speak. Like, who said that we all have to speak English and speak it properly? And what the hell is English anyway? Did I just say how? Yes, I did. Right? Who said that we all have to be, we cannot put everybody in a, try to force square pegs in circles. You can't do that, okay? So and that is for all of us. So as I'm evolving, I am not explaining myself to anyone about how I speak, why I speak that way, why I don't speak proper English. I do speak proper English sometimes. I can speak proper English. I can sit and I can have a conversation with anyone. But there's a time and place for that, okay? There is. There is a time and a place and a space for you to display your intellect or how well you can speak, how eloquent you can be, okay? Yes. So yeah, those are the things that I wanted to share with you, right? Things that you don't have to explain, right? You don't have to explain if you want to have your personal boundaries. You don't have to explain to anyone your self-care practices. You don't have to explain to anyone your core values. You don't have to explain to anyone your spiritual practices. You don't have to give an explanation to anyone when you say no. No is no, okay? You don't have to explain your fashion choices, and you don't have to explain your career choices. And the bonus is you don't have to explain how you speak, or how fast you speak, or why you speak that way, or why you don't know English, or why you don't speak English, or blah, 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 blah. You don't have to explain any of that. Evolved women don't do those things. We don't do those things, okay? Because we're evolving into a greater truth of who we are, and we express ourselves where we are at that moment. So yes, thank you so much for listening to this video. You know, if you want to drop a comment, you can drop a comment at the bottom and let me know. Is there anything else that we shouldn't give an explanation for? Of course, there are a lot, but these are the things that I personally don't give an explanation for anymore, and I don't think I'll be giving an explanation anytime soon in the future. So with that, this is EM, the Evolving Black Woman, and as I always say to my friends, start healing from your past, transform your life, and inspire someone else to do the same. Talk to you next time. Bye.